just want to talk about being or becoming a natural, how to be a natural at anything. I'm complimented quite often in the area of speaking on being a natural, and it always is kind of funny when I hear that. Um, but anyways, before I talk about that, I want to talk about books and reading books. And I started a new book today, and I was thinking about that, and I thought I always love the first chapter of a book. The first chapter of a book, it's just so exciting. It's so awesome. The author's really sharing the vision of the book. And I'm talking more like personal development books. Those are the ones that I read. It's exciting. They're kind of casting a vision for the book and what's going to be said in the book, what you're going to get out of it, what you can become, who you can be, how you can change, what you can achieve by reading this book. And so they're casting this vision. There's this dream component to it. And I always love the first chapter. And then you tend to get like halfway through, you kind of got this steam, this excitement. And you've got this excitement carrying through as you're reading a new book. And about halfway through, I find myself and I find myself thinking like this is not as fun anymore. It's not as exciting, right? By the time you get halfway through a book, you're kind of like, this feels more like work than enjoyment. And I'm kind of grinding it out at this point. And I was thinking about that, reading a book, and then our dreams and our visions and our goals for our life. When we start with a new dream, a new vision, a new goal for our life, could even be at the beginning of the year, in January, we're in March now. And maybe you start with a new goal of something you want to do, something you want to become this year. And it was exciting and it gave you energy to kind of kick off the year. But you get to this point now, 3 months in, and it just feels like work. And the same thing would be true for a long-term dream. Maybe you have a dream of building a business. Maybe it's a dream of going on a certain vacation or having some income goal or something like that, retirement goal. But at this point, the excitement of the dream or the vision has kind of worn off. And now it just feels like work and it feels like a grind. And I'm going somewhere with this. And I am going to answer the question of how to become a natural in anything, because this all plays into it. You have the dream, you have the vision, the excitement wears off. Now you're in this grind part. And what I found is that persistence is part of it. That persistence is just a necessary part of your dream. It's a necessary part of becoming a natural. On the timeline of your dream, your goal, your vision, your journey, the thing that you're trying to become a natural, on that trajectory, on that timeline, there is going to be a place in your life, in that journey, where you're going to have to be persistent at working towards that thing. So going back to being a natural. So I did a expo. I emceed an expo last night, and over and over again, I had people tell me, they're like, "You're just a natural. You're a natural with a microphone in your hand. You are a natural, man. It just comes so easy to you, and you just look so natural. When you have that microphone in your hand, you are a natural." Over and over and over again. And that's right where you're supposed to be. You're great. You bring the energy up in a room. All these wonderful things. I'm very grateful and I'm humbled by it when people say that kind of stuff. But it's always funny because there's always the statement, "You're a natural." I think it's something that we say when someone is good at something. We always say, "You're a natural at that." And it's a funny statement because as I was going on a walk with my wife this morning, and we were talking, I was kind of thinking through how long I've been speaking, how long I have been on a stage performing or speaking or singing or any of those things. And I have at least that I can think of for sure, 23 years of stage experience. So 23 years of being the lead role in a play, when I'm 12 years old. Maybe I was 10. I think I was around 12 to be safe, we'll say it. So going all the way back 23 years ago, being on a stage and having a lead role and having to memorize parts and do that, then being in singing competitions, singing groups, having solos, and performing in front of, 1,500 people for multiple nights over a couple weekends, and doing that as a 15-year-old. That experience, and then being in other singing groups, and then having an MC role with groups, and then moving on into my speaking career and standing on the stage. I have over 300 hours of stage time, being on a stage, talking to people, communicating, where I'm talking. It's not a dialogue. I'm just talking. That doesn't even count the countless hours of training and interaction, facilitated conversation time, along with books I've written, read tens of books that I've read on speaking and communicating, trainings I've gone through, coaching, having people coach me, critique me, that hard thing of critiquing. And over 23 years, it's this massive amount of persistence and consistency and opportunity in the area of speaking that has culminated in whatever you see today. And when people see what they see today, they say, you're just a natural. And that's the easy way out. I guess that's what I'm trying to say today, is the easy way out is to say that someone is a natural at something. It's just not true. If you're good at something, yes, you can have natural abilities. Absolutely. I'm not discounting that. But if you are going to be consistently good and great at something, if you want to get to that point of being great at something, it's going to take persistence. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take opportunity where you can go out there and you can perform and you can fail and you can mess up and you can fall short, and then you can learn from that and you can do it again. You see, when people see me speak today, they don't see the times where I stood in front of about 1,000 of my peers and I bombed it. I totally bombed it. And I remember that, and I know that, and I know what contributed to that, and how that made me feel, and how I can be better the next time I go through it. But that all is a contributing factor to the ultimate success, or what we like to call a natural. So how do you become a natural at something? It's going to take persistence, it's going to take consistency, and it's going to take opportunities. But here's the key. When opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. So you have to be preparing now, preparing today for the opportunities that will come tomorrow, so that when those opportunities come, you can be seen as, you can get the compliment for yourself and whatever you're working towards, that you are a natural. So I hope that helps you out. I hope I've inspired you to be persistent in your pursuit of your dream and to grind out during those tough seasons. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll throw this up on my YouTube channel so it can be watched again as well for days, weeks, and years to come. Thanks a lot.